And it is time for the big issues. You're welcome back. This is TV3 New Day, and thank you so much for staying with us this morning. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook. Spread the word, let everyone tune in, and of course, the hashtag is TV3 New Day. You can also watch us on DSTV channel 279. It is Thursday morning. Just a reminder that we're cashing out this morning. 4 of you would win 1,000 Ghana cedis each. All you have to do is to first of all make sure that you are an MTN subscriber. Dial *439#. Select option 2 and just wait and win before the end of the show. We'll be announcing our winners as we progress, and so make sure you're playing, make sure you're winning as well. But this morning, as usual, it's Thursday morning, and so we have our ladies in the studio. I will call her Bawumia, more like it, and she was right behind him when he was announced officially as the winner of the NPP National Presidential Elections. Ellen Amadeko is here. She's a member of the NPP Communications team, by the way. Good morning.
Hi, good
How are you
morning.
doing?
I'm exhausted.
You're exhausted, eh? I can imagine. It was a long day on Saturday.
No, I had also been around all the regions with him.
Oh, I see.
So the exhaustion is now setting in. But it's good to be here.
It's good to be here.
It's been a long while, so it's good to be here.
You must be happy, of course. The results you're expecting.
when you work hard and the results come, you are happy. But there's more work ahead, so the celebrations are done.
You are measured in your celebration.
No, we have work to do. We have just a year to the general elections. So.
All right. Well, Nanaya Chimpim Janto also joins us. She's General Secretary for the CPP. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I haven't seen you in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I'm back. I haven't seen Ellen in like
a long
year.
time.
3 months.
3 months, eh?
3 months, yeah.
But it's good to see you. How are you doing? Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm a bit tired, but
I can tell from your voice. You've had a stressful week.
we know our week there. It's always stressful.
It is well. Well, Margaret Ansay also joins us. She's a member of the NDC's communications team. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I've missed you.
I've missed you too. I'm loving the hair this morning.
I've missed authority. Do you
Hey,
remember?
I know. Anyway, how's your week been as well?
Oh, it's been cool. I mean, God has given us life. We need to celebrate. And we also have a responsibility towards the citizens of this country. We need to tell them the truth and give them the alternative to choose, which among what we have presented to them is best. Okay. So we are here again for God and country.
Indeed, we are here for God and country. Well, Dr. Bawumia says that he's very optimistic about breaking the 8. It's not going to be easy, he says, but with the unity in the party, he's very certain that they can break the 8. Will that really be the case? Let's hear from the president when he officially introduced the new flag bearer for the party. And then we'll hear from Dr. Bawumia himself, and then also Dr. Arthur Kennedy, who's a one-time NPP presidential candidate aspirant. He also responded to a question about whether Dr. Bawumia is the right candidate to help the NPP break the 8. Listen.
But I still have one more task to do. And that is, with all my strength, all my energy, to help the new flag bearer, to help Mamadou Bawumia win the election of 2024. Ghana cannot afford the return of the NDC, especially under the leadership of John Dramani Mahama. So let's all pull together. We have to go and campaign hard and easy. Election here by any easy my head. Nanso, the war resistable can see.
In this regard, let us all be aware that breaking the 8 will not be easy. It has not been done before in our history. But I believe if we are united, inshallah, we will break the 8. United we stand, and divided we fall. Our success will depend on how well we conduct ourselves going forward. A strong
choice of running mates, the campaign message, the conduct of other campaigns, all those things will factor in.
All Dr. Mamadou Bawumia, and at least per Saturday's statement, you get that sense that all the other three persons, plus their supporters, have pledged to support that cause. Is Dr. Bawumia the one to help the NPP break the 8, as against all the others is going to be contesting against in 2024?
I think that every candidate has positives and negatives. So he has strengths and he has weaknesses. So, and I think that mainly the reason why party candidates do better than independents is that they wrap the party brand around themselves, and he will do that like everybody else. Having said that, I mean, aside from the baggage of the bad performance of the government, maybe he does not come with as much baggage as, for example, Nana Akufo-Addo did when he first became flag bearer. So from that point of view, I wouldn't say he has significant assets, but he does not have significant drawbacks as a person either.
Dr. Bawumia has a number of things to deal with, Dr. Kennedy, and that what you made mention of earlier about this twin effect of what he said in the past, which is now being played against him, plus this administration's own performance, which is the incumbency disadvantage as well. Taking all of these two into consideration, how much of these would impact on his candidature, and does the strength of his candidature also give him the edge over these two factors that you made reference to earlier?
All right. Well, so that was from Ghana Tonight, and that is Alfredo Kante having an interaction with Dr. Arthur Kennedy. And of course, the question was put to him about whether Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the right candidate to help break the 8. Ellen, I know you're on his team, so clearly you'd say that. But if you look at a number of factors with regards to his role as vice president in the last 7 years going on 8, is he really the right candidate? Does he stand against former President John Dramani Mahama?
Good morning to everyone. Let me take this opportunity and say a big thank you to all NPP delegates across the country. I was in 12 regions with the vice president, so I met almost all of them, and at least 61% of them believed in exactly what we were saying and believe that Dr. Bawumia is the best candidate to break the 8. And so thank you very much for what they have done. And as I said, we have work to do, so we are up and doing. And you were asking whether he was going to break the 8. Yes, he is. And if you're doing a comparison between him and the former president, John Mahama, I believe Dr. Bawumia will come out tops. We are going to compare both of them when they were vice presidents. Fortunately, unlike previously when Mr. Mahama was saying that if you've not been vice president or president, don't talk to me about governing the country. Now, Dr. Bawumia has experienced 7 years. By next year, it will be 8 years experience as vice president. And we'll just suppose that with Mr. Mahama's, is it 4.5 years experience as vice president, and then his 4 years experience as president. But more at their time as vice presidents. And I believe when we do that, definitely Dr. Bawumia is the best from this side. And Ghanaians are very discerning people. They are going to actually sit down and do a proper introspection and look at the two political parties. Let's not forget by next year, both political parties under the current fourth Republican
Fourth Republic, yeah.
The current Fourth Republic would have done 16 years each. NDC would have done 16 years. NPP by next year would also have done 16 years. So it's not just the individuals that we are going to compare, the individuals as in the flag bearers. We are going to also compare the history and the progress of both parties in the last 16 years that they have been in power. And I think when we do that, and if this election is going to be purely based on issues, as it should be, the economy, education, agriculture, all the things of governance that it should be, Dr. Bawumia is going to come tops. So if you're asking me if he's going to break the 8, yes, he's going to break the 8.
What are his qualities that makes you think that he is the right candidate?
As they all said, Dr. Bawumia and the president said in the victory speech on Saturday, the NPP needs just about, I believe we need just about 2 things, and they mentioned it, unity. On Saturday, other contenders also showed this unity. Some people were not even expecting Mr. Kennedy Japan to even show up because of the sort of campaign that had gone on. And we have to also say, congratulate him, because some people didn't give him a dog's chance. Some of us did, because we know how he has helped his people, especially in the central region. So we knew he could pull a surprise.
When you say some people, who are those people?
Oh,
within the party?
Yes, of course. People did not think Mr. Japan could go further. But to Ghana, 37%
yeah,
or so,
38%. Yes, I'll get you the details,
in this, he's done very, very well. And as he said himself, the elections were free, they were fair, they were without violence. So definitely, our delegates chose the best person at this time whom they believe can lead the party into electoral victory. And you are asking what Mr. Dr. Bawumia's qualities is. Number one, he's a unifier. He's been able to bring all of them, those who competed with him, on board. And if you worked with him on the campaign, you realize that spirit of unification. When people threw jabs at him, the Kennedy camp were throwing jabs, the Akoto camp, everybody was throwing jabs. He would call those of us who actually speak for him that do not go answering those jabs. I am winning. And if I win, I'll need all those people. Yes, I mean, when you are in pole position for anything, people will throw things at you. Concentrate on the work, focus. And that is one thing that I believe he has that people do not really notice, that he's a very focused person. He knows exactly what he wants, and he will push you and his whole team to get what he wants. So that is one of the things that I believe that, yes, he's a unifier, he's God-fearing, he brings people together. One of the reasons why I believe that he is going to win is because he has a vision.
What is his vision?
And he started... He has a huge one. The very first one that he mentioned on Saturday that I picked was one he wanted us to, the youth is going to be his major focus. And in the speech he said it, that all the youth should come on board. We have a huge teeming population full of youth. We have to take advantage of the new technological things that are showing up. And he did mention robotics, he did mention coding, he did mention a lot of things that are going on all over the world that Ghanaian youth can also take care of. Yes, the foundation has been built. Just recently, I believe is it YE? Yes, where Kofi Japan is. Kofi Japan and his YE have started training some of our people, the young people who applied in getting into these technological survey things, and he intends to do that. Another thing he mentioned, just two that he mentioned on Saturday, that he wanted us to be a country that has food security. Because when your people are hungry, that is the basics. A hungry person is an angry person. We need to be able to keep all the food and everything that we are doing through all the projects, planting for food and jobs. All these things bring up food, and it goes waste because we don't have any way of keeping it. So one of the things he mentioned in his speech that I am very interested in is the fact that he wants us to be a country that has that is food secure, and we are using digitalization to achieve that. How he intends to do that, I'm sure he will expatiate on it as we go along. I'm sure in the next few weeks, the other things he intends to do, and as the flag bearer of the NPP and as president, will come up. But at least these two things that he touched on, the young people of this country and the fact that we need to get food at all times, are one of the things that I believe, at least he started off with that, with his vision. And just like Nana Addo did, by 2012, when Nana Addo was picked, as a flag bearer, we already knew, everybody in this country knew exactly what Nana Addo wanted to do. If he had asked, what do you want? The first thing that will come into your head, free SHS. Of course, our brothers and sisters on the other side, I believe, sponsored adverts, over 100 adverts saying that free SHS was a scam. But at least we knew what Mr. Akufo-Addo wanted to do.
But there are challenges at the moment.
Nobody has spoken about
a review of free SHS.
We haven't all agreed on that.
Nobody has said that it should be reviewed?
Nobody has said there's no challenges.
What we
are talking about is the vision of the people who are leading this country, or the vision of the flag bearers. And I'm saying, just Dr. Bawumia, just like the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, has a clear vision of what he wants. In 2012, we all knew what Nana Addo wanted to do. And as it is with every human institution, of course, there will be challenges. Whether there should be a review or not, that one, I believe the Ministry of Education, the last time the Minister of Education spoke about this, he said there were a lot of things going on. They were making sure that some of the challenges were being solved. But at least that system, Nana Addo talked about it. Okay. It is in the same vein that Dr. Bawumia also feels that we should be a food-secure nation led by digitalization. He feels that young people should be brought on board. It is a vision. The other person on the other side, we still don't know his vision. And that is what I'm trying to say.
He has a rep here who would respond. But even before I go to Nanaya, if you look at the votes and you look at the campaign team for Dr. Bawumia, they had even predicted that they were sure they were going to win by 75%, in some cases even 80%. Then you get a 61.51% of win. That's against Kennedy Agyapong's 37.29%. Clearly, there are people within the party who are not too excited. And so that prediction by your campaign team did not materialize.
It is a prediction.
Does that not show that he may not necessarily have the full support of the party?
For a first-timer in the NPP, Dr. Bawumia is the best so far. He has garnered the best votes. President Kufuor, let's even start from Edubwai. I believe Edubwai, when he started off, also got about 50-something%. First-timer. President Kufuor also was in the 50s. Or something, I think so. Nana Akufo-Addo didn't even get the 50%. He got around 40-something for a first-timer. So in this, from 92 till now, Dr. Bawumia's 61% is the highest that any first-timer has gotten in the NPP. You do not compare the NPP's internal processes to other people. We have a way we do our things. Any time that the party decides to go for an election, it is keenly contested. That is the NPP.
But your team was so sure that he would get over 75%.
It is a prediction, and it didn't come through. Big deal. He's won. And he's won with the highest ever in the history of our party for a first-timer. It's different if we decide to go for an acclamation. And we do also go for an acclamation like we did in 2020 for Nana Addo, where nobody contests. But when we decide we are going for a contest, in our party, it is keenly contested, right from polling station all the way up. So, yes, the team will do its projections. The team believed at that time that this is what we're going to get. But then we all know projections can go your way or it doesn't. The important thing is that he won, and he won with a convincing majority. Other people who have gone first-timers did not win by those margins. So Dr. Bawumia has done well, whether people are happy or not. Of course, that is why it is a competition.
Nanaya, do you think that Dr. Bawumia is the right person to break the 8 for the NPP?
Bella, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to your viewers. Kofi Kapito said I should say good morning to you.
Good morning, Kofi Kapito. It's been a while we saw you on the show.
But he wants to tell you that you are not mentioning my middle name properly.
Okay, so it's not Achimpim.
Achimpim?
Achimpim. Nanaya Achimpim.
Achimpim.
Achimpim Jantwa. I apologize for not getting it right.
That's
Nanaya
my big
Achimpim.
brother watching me. I didn't even notice.
Thank you for the correction, by the way. I've always said Achimpim. I thought that was the right pronunciation. Okay.
But he is there marking. I think he's sitting there marking.
Yeah, he's marking. Anyway.
Good morning, Kofi. I hope all is well. Me, you see, I'm very fatigued. I was a bit. Maybe that's why I was tired when I saw the topic. We've said it over and over again.
That what?
That NPP cannot break the 8. It doesn't matter the kind. You see, I am very happy that he himself said it's never been done before. Every party wants to break the 8. It's just that it's the slogan and the tag the NPP has put on it. After 8 years, every party wants to go the next term, and it's never happened.
But something could change this time around.
It won't change.
He says that with unity, the party could break the 8.
They are not even united now. Honorable Alan Martin is out. Nobody can tell me that.
Is he a member of the NPP?
Ellen, please allow her to speak.
When you were talking, I didn't talk.
Alan Martin is a member.
Please allow her to speak. When you were speaking, she didn't interject. Carry on.
Alan has been a member of that party for a very long time. You see, the difference between Alan's independent candidates and an independent candidate coming from nowhere to be on their own are two different things. Do you get me? When in some ways, was it 96 or 92 in the NDC? 96, Eagle. You remember the Eagle Party, Amufa?
Yes.
Yes. There was a breakaway. They formed a party And eventually they were able to talk to them. That's why you find the eagle on top of the umbrella. Guzitano, in 2000, broke away with his team to form the Reform Party. That kind of thing, in whichever way it posits itself, can hurt a party. The CPP, we had our own with Dr. Indum. Nobody can say it didn't hurt us. You see, it will only take somebody who is buried their head in the sand who will say that Alan leaving the NPP will not hurt them. Ayikwe, is it Ayikwe Otu?
Ayikwe Otu,
yes. On Saturday was on your show, you were with him, and he said the independent phenomena is very problematic. And especially if that person is coming out of a party. Are you telling me that somebody stays in a party for a long time, openly, because some of his supporters are MPs, they might not come openly to say that we are supporting you because they are MPs for a particular party. But when it comes to the vote on the final day, in that booth, they will be there alone to vote for whoever they want to vote for. And we needn't take that for granted. He might not be a member of the party today, but he came out of that party. And he's been around for a very long time. Maybe there were things he should have done before that he didn't do. That I even said that he should have even taken up a member as a member of parliament in one of the constituencies in the Ashanti region, or even in Greater Kumasi, for him to be amongst the people. But it didn't happen. But he is nobody can. You see, today that Alan has left, it does not mean that he is not. He is there. He is a member of the NPP.
He says he's no more a member. He has formed a movement.
He has always been a member.
Yeah, but he broke away.
I am saying that breaking away, for you to say today he's not a member. If, for instance, I am CPP, and I mean, I am talking about NPP and saying that I'm going to stand and all that, I am not a member. It does not, I don't have any base. But Alan has a base there. He got what, 10% in the Super Delegates Congress. It shows something. Even 1%. He got some form of percentage. He was third. This was a larger group. I saw one of the professors saying that a Kennedy got a lot of votes, which he meant should have been for Alan. Do you get it? That is his analysis. Are you saying that if Alan had stayed, he wouldn't have gotten people to vote for him?
Oh, we would never know that since he decided
No,
to
but I'm
leave.
saying that if he had stayed, even if he speculates, he would have gotten people to vote for. So from the basis of it, there is some form of disunity. Kennedy and his people are also there. I mean, on the face of it, I can come and tell you I'm going to support you and all. But
you don't believe that?
But I look at body language. He did extremely well, but his body language wasn't extremely beautiful.
What was it communicating?
He was communicating like anger. You see, when Dr. Shebo made a mistake and said,
93%.
Did you see the expression on his face?
No, but even Dr. Bawumia was, he also made a face when that
No, but that
figure
face,
was
there are two different faces. He was like, but this one was, do you get me? I mean, his body language was like, why am I here? But he was there. But he did extremely well. I mean, with all everything. He has flaws. I mean, he can just insult women and insult everybody, but he still got 38-point-something%. It shows something.
What does it show?
It shows that there's some resentment, that people really wish that it was another candidate. As a point, you see, the first time that the Electoral College wasn't this large, His Excellency Nana-Addo got 47. But after when the Electoral College, he got 90-something throughout. Do you get me? It shows some overwhelming support.
But Doctor didn't get the overwhelming support.
No, I mean, did he? I don't want, you see, I'm a bit fatigued about all this breaking the 8 and to think that the economy is like what it is. And that people are suffering, and we are in some kind of difficult situation, and there's no concentration on that one, and it's like breaking the 8. And the concentration is on coming back to power. But I don't know how hard it is. There are times that you yourself, you decide, you even feel that you don't have to go out. Because if you get 2 cedis, you use 2 cedis to buy fuel. If you are working and you get a certain amount of money doing your own business, you might not even get what you have to get. Bella, do you understand? And it's not, medical care is expensive and not even good enough. Your heart breaks when you are on TV and you hear that patients on dialysis cannot pay. Yeah. And when that young girl died, I cried. I don't know her, but I cried. The girl that you showed that she said, I mean, today they said this, tomorrow they said transplant. These were her words. And when I heard she was dead, and nobody could come to her aid. HIV patients not getting antiretrovirals. It hurts me. My heart breaks. Do you get me? So when I see that the people in power, their only interest is breaking the AIDS, when all these issues are there.
They say they want to continue the good works of President
Which one is the good works? But I am saying that I am happy that they themselves have acknowledged that it is not going to be easy. Because you see, this election 2024 about two factors. It is about God, what he is going to say. It's about what the people of Ghana are going to say. It is not about how popular any person is or how good any person is. It is what has happened to the people of Ghana that God is not happy with and he's going to speak. So I want to say that whoever thinks that they can use some magic or some whatever to win, it is not going to happen. Because the people of Ghana have not been treated fairly. I've given you 2 incidents of a vulnerable group. Critical care is missing. We even suggested the CPP that the COVID fund should be used to support these people. Nobody has even spoken about them. Look at the spillage. What has happened to the vulnerable? People from Ghana have done very well. Look at how we have come together as a nation. You see, 2024, I am happy that he's talking about unity. It will be a unity of purpose to get the NPP out of power by Ghanaians. Because the sovereignty of this nation, the power lies in the hand of Ghanaians. And we have not been treated fairly. Bella, when you are even driving on the roads of Accra, every fuel that you can fill your tank if you have the money. You can buy a half tank, but the traffic will take away the fuel. Do you understand? It will take away the fuel. And fuel is money. It is added to your cost of living.
Even the time.
Yes. It is added to your cost of living. Because, yes, the time that you were sitting in traffic. So then even time, one of the things that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said, of which me I'm happy as a Ghanaian, is the 24-hour economy. Because you know what? Sometimes you have to go somewhere. You be in a queue and it's 4 o'clock. You are late. Let me give you an example. When I was going to take my Ghana card, for some reason I said I will never take Ghana card. But my children urged me to take it. My driver, Adamu, said I should take it. My children, they said I should. So one day I decided to go. When I went, I saw the queue, I pulled back. She gets me. I pulled back. Then I went and came again and saw it. I said, let me go through it. So granted that I could even go in the evening, in the night. If they were working throughout, I could go in the night. I would wait. It can even reduce the traffic. It can help. Because sometimes it is not easy. Cost of living, it is not easy. Look, you see, if you are not doing it yourself, you do not know. Yeah. But the economy, the inflation, everything, it should translate into what I buy in the market.
But he had said, I mean, I remember that before the 2016 elections, as part of the many things he said, one of the things was that he says, I've worked at the Bank of Ghana, and I know that Ghana is rich. Yes. So if the economy is where it is at that time, then it means you're incompetent. Yes. Fast forward to this point where, I mean, he's refused to speak about the economy at this point, even when you're asking some of these questions.
That's why I am fatigued, because you see, the people you are dealing with do not think that there's anything wrong. If you see you are cheating on your wife and your wife says it and you say there's nothing wrong, and your wife knows that this is it, you are doing it, it's caught you, and you still continue to say be in denial, your wife will just let you be. That's why I'm fatigued about this, because even if there's some acknowledgement that we have failed.
Would that make any difference?
No, I'm saying just acknowledge.
But what would that do?
And decide that, okay, it will bring relief to the heart of Ghanaians.
It doesn't put money in my pocket if you acknowledge that you
manage
the economy.
Yes, I mean, it doesn't. But I mean, that one, sorry, it sometimes helps, but it does not. Because you see, things are so hard. I mean, my problem is that if you acknowledge that you know that I'm suffering, but you can't do anything about it. But you know I am suffering. Unless you don't know what is going on. Unless you are so far removed that, I mean, there is a screen. Do you get me? Not a screen that is removing you from the ordinary day-to-day activities of people in Ghana. Because talking about planting for food and jobs, you are talking about something that exists. So if you have this idea you are talking, why don't you use it now? Why do you wait till you become president? Because if you use that good idea that you have, as supposedly said, it will help all of us now. If you have any vision that will help us move forward, why are you keeping it in your pocket? And not bring it out now when we are in a crisis. Because even now, the second tranche of 600 million is in jeopardy. Because the IMF is saying that we are not debt sustainable and we need to look at our debt profile. We are borrowing domestically. Yeah. Treasury bills. Somebody went to take their money. They told them that they should wait. The person has done a 3-month investment, hoping that you get it at the end of the 3rd month. The person was told that he should wait and that he even did a 1-year investment. Because money has been borrowed internally, domestically. Look at the bond. Look at the pensions. Do you get me? People go for their pensions fund, which used to be 24% interest, now has been reduced to 18%. Even that one, taking it is problematic. These are all issues that are facing us. And for me, you have to, instead of looking at how these ones are resolved, so that Ghanaians are happy. You see, they will tell you, the NPP will tell you that, oh, every time the problems have been there, yes, country broke, country no broke, we day inside. But the point is that when you were coming to power, what did you tell us? Ghanaians had hope. 2016, all the beautiful things that you said, as you were telling me right now, but it has become bad.
Is 1 year enough to fix the problem?
I don't know. Bella, I cannot tell, because if your fixation is not on fixing the problem, but your fixation is on breaking the 8, that is also part of acknowledgement. Okay. That your fixation is on breaking the 8, which has never been done before. So why don't you make up your mind that I will leave with a good legacy in the minds of Ghanaians, that this is the best we got so far.
Okay. Margaret, so if you listen to the president as well, on that night, he says that Ghanaians cannot afford to have NDC come back, especially under former President John Dramani Mahama. So he's going to do everything he can to ensure that Dr. Bawumia breaks that 8. How did the NDC take this statement? Or is it just one of those usual rhetorics that you never really pay attention to?
Good morning, Bella, and good morning to my sisters. Bella, from what the president said, and he said he would do with all his strength and energy. And that was the point that, as we used to say, that was a breaking point for me.
Why?
Ghanaians are going through excruciating hardship. I've never heard the president mention that he's going to use all his strength and energy to solve our problems.
He said he was going to put his presidency on the line to fight Galamsey at least.
And as I speak with you, people in Ashanti region, babies are born without certain sensitive organs. Bella, so President Akufo-Addo has strength and energy, and we are here. But even before I get to that, when Amma was talking about her candidate and all that, and she was asking what our vision is, because she's not heard the vision from the other side. Bella, I won't even take you far. Nanaya just mentioned the 24-hour economy, which, according to the TUC General Secretary, is a game changer. Bella, can you imagine? I know certain sectors are already practicing like the broadcast media. You come in the morning, some come in the afternoon, evening, even late. Yeah, the health sectors, pharmacy, nurses, doctors, airports. But we are going to make it more effective and spread the tentacles. Bella, can you imagine? Look at the number of employees we have in this country. Multiplying it by 2 in a day. The revenue is going to generate for this country, the opportunities it's going to give to the youth, the hope that the youth is looking for. Now they are all in disarray. So this 24-hour economy at least is the game changer for every Ghanaian. anybody who is disappointed, who is hopeless now, President Mahama in the NDC 24-hour economy, Ghana is not going to sleep. There's been a time that I've gone to buy a kenke at Osu Night Market at 11 p.m. before, and it was very active. But imagine that the whole economy is not going to sleep. We are going to provide adequate street lights, better security, better transportation, where when you're even leaving home at 10 midnight, you know that there's a secured car, the system is working for you, and you will go and work. But like, imagine if we are using, now they say Russia and Ukraine war, we cannot even get wheat. Imagine we are using the plains on the Akuse roads, about let's say 500 acres to plant wheat. You can use the night to plow the land. You can use the night to grow the seeds. Whilst you use the evening, you don't put light on the crops for the crops to grow. So things that it could take a farmer a month to do, with a 24-hour system, it's going to take us 2 weeks. Besides, instead of employing just one person, now we are going to need more operators, train more people to use the tractor, the plow. So the economy is going to blossom. And this is from a visionary leader, President Mahama. And let me also take this. Looking at the state of Ghana's economy, the President Mahama says that he's going to run the leanest but most effective government under the Fourth Republic by appointing not more than 60 ministers and deputy ministers. Bella, in 2020, when we were going to 2020 election, we advised President Akufo-Addo and his court that reduce your number of ministers just by 40%, and that was going to save the country over 60 million a year. Now, Kolebu, the renal dialysis, they are owing 4 million, and it's been closed out, and 19 people have died. Reducing President Akufo-Addo's ministers by 40% as of 2020 was going to save this country over 60 million every year. And President Mahama is saying that looking at the state of Ghana's economy, the economy is bankrupted. He's going to run the leanest but effective government. It doesn't take much. If the head is screwed on properly, everybody will work and Ghanaians will get results. Also, he said that he's going to abolish ex gratia. Bella, being a government appointee alone, is a social capital for you. You understand? You are being called to serve, and if really that is your focus, you are so happy about it, giving service to your people, because that is the most thing that any Christian or any good Muslim can do for mankind.
But that's what the NPP is saying, that so when he was president, why didn't he abolish it then? Why is he now
When President Mahama was president, the IMF did not tell us to go back to President Mahama debt to GDP ratio at 56%. When we take all our revenues, our taxes, our oil revenue and whatever, and service our debt, we service it at 56%. The nation was left with 44% to take care of ourselves. When President Mahama was president, the Bank of Ghana, the central bank, never financed us in 2016. It was zero financing. We did not go to borrow 77 billion.
Eventually, we went to the IMF.
Eventually, we went to the IMF, but aren't we at IMF right now? Even on one leg. And the Bank of Ghana has financed this government by artificial printing of money over 77. In the history of this country, I repeat, I have never seen where a whole building called Bank of Ghana is there and the building is empty, has no money. And that is the condition we are in now. So if they are asking why President Mahama was president, he has gone home, he has sat down, he has consulted, he has listened to people, listened to the plight of Ghanaians. He has done this, how do you call it, tour, interacted with people and know the current state of our economy. So you not taking ex gratia is a big deal. We have to applaud him for that. And as he said, he's going to consult Parliament, whatever, and put proper reforms. Bella, the vision is many. But at least, even with this, even the 24-hour economy is like Christmas came in November for us.
And that is way beyond what Dr. Bawumia is promising. Bella, reforming the agric sector,
and number two,
digitalization.
Professor Ishmael Jansen just said it, that planting for food and jobs, where the NDC secured $300 million from the Canadian Embassy to come build sectors for, I mean, we are going to segment the country, regions, build centers, get machines to help farmers grow their crops. where they do not have fertilizer, they do not have the tractor, the combined harvesters. There were centers that were going to do all these things for them. At the end of the day, help them harvest the crops, help them sell the crops. So where they get their gains, they will be able to pay. That was the reason why the Canadian government gave us the 300 million. And today, all we see about planting for food and jobs is billboards. Bella, Alma was asking, you see, the NPP, they set their own questions. Then when you give them the marking scheme to market, they tell you that you have to change it because it is Dr. Bawumia. They are talking about didn't they know Dr. Bawumia was going to, for an election, people were going to vote on him. Then they gave us predictions between 75% to 80%. We didn't force them to give us that prediction. Then if you go into an election and you get 61%, an election where all the machinery, the system, everything is supporting you, where you have been a vice president, the people they are comparing it, you are comparing Edubuahin, Ekufuado, whoever, they have never been vice president. You have been a vice president. You had all the advantages and the privileges. You even took phones and called delegates, yet they gave you 61%. Why did they predict 75% to if 61% was good, why didn't they predict that? It's a failure, so I don't know why they have failed.
Does it matter now? I mean, he's still gotten that 61%.
I don't know why they have failed and they want to give excuses.
You call 61% failure?
Bawumia has always been very... You know, it's so much of a disappointment. They painted him in a way for us, as the Americans would say, very meretricious, but yet no value at all. And also, my sister was talking about how do you call it? They are focusing. Bawumia has a new vision. He said it, and he's focusing on what he has to bring on board, because now they are going to compare Bawumia as vice president and President Mahama as vice president. Annie, that is so laughable.
Bella. Don't worry. It's fine. You're always with her anyway.
Bella, that is so laughable, because I will even take Amafa. If we are comparing President Mahama's track record as a vice president, Bella, when President Mahama was a vice president, the public debt as at the end of 2012 was 35.1 billion. What is the public debt today as at Bawumia? Over 600 billion. President Mahama as a vice president, our debt to GDP was 48.4%. What is our debt to GDP today? 104%.
Did you say debt at that time was what, 31 billion?
Our debt as of 2012 was 35.1 billion. She's making comparison of vice presidents. And the highest growth rate that this country ever gotten, 14.4%. Under President Mahama, as the head of the economic management team, under President Mahama, inflation, we acquired a single digit, and it was spontaneous for continuous 33 months. It has never happened in the history of this country before. Exchange rate was 2 cedi to $1. Under Vice President as Dr. Bawumia, exchange rate, now the dollar is getting close to 13. Last year, November last year, the dollar to cedi was 17 cedis. Do you know why it's calmed down a little bit? Because we have agreed not to service our debts again. We are not getting all the cedis to go and change into dollar to service our debts. That is why it moved from 17 cedis to now 12 cedis. And even with that, we've been blacklisted. We cannot go back into the world market to go and borrow.
So he cannot break the 8.
He can't. I'm even making the comparison. So the two things that she's comparing, please, it's neither here nor there. And also, we didn't force Mr. Nanado to tout his economics prowess to Mr. Bawumia.
Is that what he's done?
At the State of the Nation's address, 2018, he said that all the economic gains, the excellence, whatever, is under the performance of the all-intelligent Dr. Bawumia. After he mentioned it in Parliament, he went back to his social media handles and reiterated it. President Nanado never said anywhere that he was more intelligent and he was an economic messiah. Dr. Bawumia himself led the economic management team in the 100 days of the NPP, mentioned the gains, that this is the economic management team and he is the head. He even held town hall meetings, counting the gains of the economic management team. Why is he running away from the fact that he is in charge of the economy? So we are even when we take him as vice president and take President Mahama as vice president, he cannot compare himself with him. And even if we ask Alan Shamantin said, I saw a video yesterday, he said the presidency is one ticket. Nanado and Dr. Bawumia, there's no difference. It's one ticket.
But he also says that don't vote for the NPP and NDC. You have tried them before. It didn't work. So try movement for change.
At least. Mr. Alan Chamantin was with the NPP a while ago. He left not even a year ago or a month ago. And he's telling us that the presidency and the vice president is one ticket. So we should ignore Bawumia's utterances.
But he says don't vote for the NDC either.
But I am giving you an empirical example that Dr. Bawumia, as the NPP want to claim, cannot distinguish himself from the abysmal failure of the NPP government as of today. He is the economic messiah. That is how they presented him to us. He is Nanado's everything. He is his poster child to all successes. So if we are here, our debt is over 600 billion. Our growth rate is nothing to write home about. Interest rates, businessmen cannot do business. Dollar to CD is nothing to write home about. It is Dr. Bawumia. So how can he break any aid? And as we say them colloquially, those that are interested in football, Bawumia is like an injury player. He cannot do anything. The man is in the match over 80 minutes. He cannot score. He cannot even lift a finger. So what else can you use him for? And it's unfortunate that in the team of the NPP, they've portrayed that they don't even have the human resource. They don't have the men. They don't have the women. This Bawumia team brought out the 10 cents of Kennedy Japan. The person that over 37% of the NPP voted for. They brought the 10 cents of Kennedy Japan, described him as unpresidential material, whatever. So what do the NPP have now? So they only have to rely on Dr. Bawumia, and the way he's excited that I am the whatever, I am lucky because I'm from the northern region. He will take the NPP to perpetual opposition. Perpetual. And his name will be on it. I think he should have a rethink.
He should have a rethink.
He would take the NPP to perpetual opposition, and his name will be put on it.
Oh.
So, as for Dr. Bawumia, as Nanaya said, I think the nation has more important things to look at. That whatever the NPP has to offer, they have done it and we have seen it. And from all that they said, it's unfortunate. I've heard one of their MPs lie. He said all that the NDC needs is to put Bawumia's video, get a projector, just play it in town, and NDC has won the election.
And that's what I was coming to.
Kennedy Japan said that bring Bawumia any day, any time. John Mama will beat him. All of them, Martha Kennedy and Co. Yeah, the same thing. So as for Dr. Bawumia, his own people have told us that he cannot even lead the NPP by the results that he got. Talk less of leading a country. Ordinary economic management team, you were the head. And look at where we are. And you want us to give you all the country, all sectors, agri, infrastructure, digitalization, whatever. And upon all this, predicting, using data to analyze your own election results, you got it wrong. The similarity index is not even close. 61% to 75 to 80% prediction. You are a failure. The gentleman cannot do anything for himself. Talk less to
let Ellen respond to this, and then we'll quickly move on to the rest of the conversation.
So
we also have to go back to Parliament and listen to what the Energy Minister has said about the spillage of water from the Kosovo Dam. But Ellen, I mean, if you look at it, and a lot of people have said that if we should just play back things that Dr. Bawumia has said, that's enough to, leave him in opposition, because clearly he has said a lot of things that didn't happen. Example, like I read earlier, he talked about working at the Bank of Ghana and indicating that Ghana was rich. And so anybody who mismanaged the economy was clearly incompetent. We are at a point where our economy is not doing well. He says we'll move from taxation to production. Here we are, we have not been able to achieve that to its entirety. And a lot of people are asking that if that's the case, you made these statements, you could not achieve it. What makes you think that we're going to vote for you to become president?
The man is in government, and saying that he's in opposition. He's not going to go into opposition. He's going to break the eight. Margot was saying that Mr. Mahama was head of economic team of the NDC. He never was. President Mills never set up any economic, what do you call it?
That's a lie.
What's the name?
Management team?
No, he didn't. What he did was, he set, I think he what he set up was ECA, Economic Advisory Council. And their mandate was to take charge of the economic policy and management under the Mills government.
How is that different from this?
That's what I'm saying. It was chaired by the late respected Dr. Gobin Nankani. And it had the following members, which Mr. Mahama was in part. Dr. Afede, Mr. Emmanuel Abulo, Mr. K.Y. Amwa, Dr. Cardinal Atamils, Professor K.N. Afo, Mr. Fredo Hinikena, Mr. Pa Kwesi Mr. Arthur, Mr. Ishmael Yamson, and Mr. Joe Hyde. Mr. Mahama was never part of the ECA, Economic Advisory Council, which was set up by the president at that time. So President Mills himself didn't even find Mr. Mahama competent enough to add him to his economic advisory. Aware of the his economic advisory council. I mean, it's here. And if you want to know where I found it from Joy FM, my Joy Online. Worry, you can go and look for that. So one, Mr. President Mills did not form an EMT. What he formed was an Economic Advisory Council. And even in that Economic Advisory Council, he did not add his vice president. That should tell you that even Professor Mills did not trust Mr. Mahama to do anything competent. Remember that it was under President Mills' time that SADA was set up, and it was put under the administration and under the supervision of President Mahama. Isn't that the place where $50 million was given for them to go and rear guinea fowl? That we're told that the guinea fowl flew to Burkina Faso. $50 million. It was under the same SADA that people were giving money. A certain company, I'll have to get the name of the company, was giving money to go plant trees. And the trees were planted in the hot weather, and all the trees died. They were never able to account for it. So if you're going to do a comparison of Mr. Mahama's economic issues under President Mills as vice president, compared to Dr. Bawumia, who was also, or is vice president, under Nana Akufo-Addo, my dear, the two don't compare. And because he was so incompetent as a vice president, that is why when God called Professor Mills, unfortunately, and he came in as president, the government and the economy at that time was what it was. Without COVID, without all the issues that came with COVID, without a world recession, he still managed to mismanage the country to the extent to which it was. You want to do a 24-hour economy. You couldn't keep the lights on for 24 hours. And you want to do a 24-hour economy.
But you say it's been fixed now, so when they come, is that not possible?
The one who couldn't keep power on, and because of that, he was kicked out, now wants to come when somebody has been able to keep the power on for 8 years to come and do 24-hour economy. We are going to put all this in front of Ghanaians. The 24-hour economy that I'm really also now hearing about it, so we all have to look at it.
Oh, you didn't know about this?
No, I didn't. Why should I know about it? He just mentioned it. And so 24 hours, as I said, in your time, you couldn't keep the lights on for 24 hours. Somebody has come for 8 years between the time you were sitting at home and planning on what to do, and has kept the light on for 24 hours. It is going, the lights are on. So you are expecting that next year, Ghanaians will vote for you, so that when you come, what he has done by keeping the lights, or you use it to build your 24-hour economy, doing what exactly does he want us? You will have to break it down. What are we going to do in those 24 hours? Which industries are going to benefit from those? How are they going to make sure that the people are being paid? We are already complaining about our huge public sector debt and our huge wages, how much we spend, our taxes that we take, the percentage that we spend on wages. How are they going to make sure that whichever 24-hour economy that they are going to run brings in enough money, so that those people who are going to be working in the night, gets paid, and they do not come and add on to our already big wages that we are giving to people during the day? These are all things they would have to explain to us. But if we are going to do a comparison of vice presidents, as I said, President Mills did constitute an economic advisory something. Mr. Mahama wasn't even part of that.
So and actually, Dr. Dufour even did say it when he was finance minister.
So when we are talking about the economy and how it has been run by vice president, as you said, we all know that the head of this whole country is the president. And of course, he has a vice who works with him. Dr. Bawumia, for the past 8 years, has helped Nana Addo through thick and thin And there's no way you are going to do your discussions without looking at the effects of COVID and the fact that we're in this country, when we all had to close down for close to 9 months, teachers were going to teach people and they were paid. During your time when there was no COVID, teachers taught for 3 years and you paid them 3 months' salaries. There was no COVID. The economy hadn't collapsed, as you put it. But as we speak, teachers were in our home. Not just teachers, other public service people were all at home, sitting home 6 months, a year, 9 months, they were paid. In your time when everything was supposed to be rosy, some teachers taught for 3 years, they were paid for 3 months. Then to add insult to injury, you decided to cancel the teachers and nurses' allowances that were getting in school. When we spoke about it and the opposition and everybody in Ghana spoke about it, Mr. Mahama told us that if it means putting his presidency online over those nurses and teacher training allowance, he would. And the people voted against him. During COVID, still, the teachers and nurses still get their allowances, albeit delayed. Sometimes it gets delayed, I agree, but they get it. At least it's not 3 years that they haven't been paid and they were paid for 3 months. So when you put all these things together, plus the fact that the whole world went into an economic recession and we are all coming back, and you want to compare that to somebody whose time we didn't have any problem, and you tell me that Ghanaians will sit down, take a critical look at all this, and still vote for him. Well, that's up to Ghanaians. Okay. In my estimation, Dr. Bawumia is going to break the 8. Okay. And it's going to surprise you because your candidate, as the president said, definitely the NDC cannot be allowed to come back under the candidature of John Mahama, when he has obviously showed his incompetence years ago.
Okay. I want us to move on quickly to the energy minister. I don't know if you want to respond to this.
Come in, quick one. Let me respond to Amma. Let me educate her.
You are not educated.
Bella, recently, January 2020, President Nana formed a 40-man squad to investigate into why the CD is falling against dollar, pounds. Was Dr. Bawumia part of it? Check the list. Dr. Bawumia was not part of it. Does that mean we did not have an economic management team? There is. So what she is saying is neither here nor there. If she's saying President Mahama was incompetent, that is why President Akufo-Addo did not add him. Under our presidency, we had the economic management team where President Mahama was the head
of the economic so I'm just reading
Bella,
what Dr. Dufour said.
I am representing and he says, the NDC on your platform.
But Dr. Dufour is a senior member of the NDC.
I am here representing the NDC.
I understand,
on your
but
platform.
this is what a senior member said. Let me just read it.
I know.
He says John Mahama was not part of the Economic Advisory Council when I was finance minister.
I know, and I'm telling you, President Mahama was the head of the economic management team. The same thing as today. President Nana had a 40-member squad to investigate into the forest, where Nana, how do you call it? Dr. Bawumia wasn't part of it. Does that mean that he was not the vice president? He was not in charge? Nanado has given him all the gains. So please, that thing is neither here nor there. And secondly,
land on it for me so we can move on.
Secondly, Amma is talking about Dumso. You see, these are NPP people. They sit in their room and they think Ghanaians are very gullible. Did Mr. Mahama sit in his bedroom to invent Dumso to inflate it upon Ghanaians? In 1998, there was Dumso. I even heard in 84, there was Dumso. They've been Dumso even under President Kufuor, 2007, 2008. President Mahama came, took up the responsibility and solved the problem. Bella, what was Ghana's population when Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah built the Akoso Dam? So the country is growing, and you see, it is so sad that Amma will sit here and talk about Dumso. He should go and ask his own finance minister. When he went to parliament, he complained of excess capacity. What was the excess capacity meant for? When they were promising Ghanaians one district, one factory, because it was a lie, President Mahama generated power to absorb industries. They came and they didn't have any idea of building industry. So they were complaining about excess capacity. We have solved Dumso. We have given the country excess capacity, and they were complaining about it because they did not know how to use the excess capacity. Our 24-hour economy is coming to use the excess capacity. We are coming to introduce solar system where it will enable the industries to not put so much burden on their electricity bills. Bella, President Mahama has done it before. And I won't even take you far. Just the IMF report, I know you read a lot. The IMF is telling President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia to take solid 3 years to think and achieve what was President Mahama's worst in 2016 as our debt to GDP, which is 56%. So please, the world, the Ghanaians, we don't even need a rocket scientist. This everybody tells. Inflation in the history over 40 years, we got hyperinflation. Inflation went as far as 54%, unprecedented. And you want to present this person to us again? Even your own political party, do not trust him.
Noted.